So, just really happy with my game tonight. Just had a lot of fun out there. Tried to throw the weight around. I said I was excited to do that, and it was just an awesome experience. Great to play, a good game with my two line mates there, and really happy with the result.
Can you talk a little bit about Philip Macharo? So, you played a bit with him last year. It seems like he's coming into his own also a little bit.
Yeah, he had a great start last year, and it was unfortunate that, 5 games in, he, had a pretty bad injury that set him back for a while. So that's tough to deal with for any player. He worked his way back at the end of the season. Worked really hard, obviously, this offseason. He looks great, so it was a lot of fun to play with him.
You said you were throwing weights, you scored a goal, playing on PK, playing on the power play. You showed everything that you can do for this team?
There's always more for sure. I think I'm still getting comfortable in the PK. That's something that I've done in the past. It's been a role I played, but it's still something that I need to work on a little bit at this level. I didn't play as much of it last year, so still kind of feeling out the kinks there, getting used to it. But I think for the most part, I was happy with my game. But there's always more to strive for.
So I thought as the game went on, we were able to get into a few things, start to see our forecheck, start to see our ozone. Obviously there's going to be a lot of things to work on after game one, but I think there's a lot of positives, and you're just trying to ramp it up as much as you can for the start of the year. So I thought it was a good step for us.
Marty has been talking a little bit about urgency. Just do you feel that that's an example? You guys
Of course. We were fortunate enough to dig out of it. We know that's not going to happen. We have the start we had last year, so it's we put a lot of emphasis on being ready to go right from the start here. And I think camp's been more intense. It's been pushing ourselves a little bit more, and I think it's going to pay off.
With Anderson coming in.
Because I just love to play hockey. I love to go out on the ice, whether it's in front of 20,000 people or by myself. I think hockey is just what makes me calm, and a lot of people get wrapped up into different things. For me, it's just wanting to let the game come to me and just enjoy being a hockey player.
Can you take us through the OT save?
It's hard to really put it in words. I think in those types of moments, whether it's preseason or not, you just want to give your team a chance to win, and was able to get across and get enough of it. So fortunate that one didn't go, and we ended up getting the win.
Where you come like this, being a kid, or is something like just develop over the time?
I think it's something that I've had kind of my whole life. Like I said, I've grew up just loving the game so much and just trying to be like a hockey dork, so to say. And it's just part of who I am. I love to come to the rink every day, and it's not a job for me.
You're working with good NHL players every day. What are you learning about yourself in this process?
You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are at the same time. I think I'm super fortunate. Like every day since I've got here, it's kind of been a dream come true. To just be on the ice with a lot of these guys who, not too long ago I was just watching on TV, being a fan. So it's hard to kind of put that to the side and be a player again, but. Really just enjoying coming to the rink, like I said, every day.
Jacob, was that your first Fowler at the Bell Center? How do you feel?
Again, like this arena and these fans, it's so much fun to be a part of it, and it's super early, but preseason and rookie games so far, I can't imagine what it would feel like to play in the playoffs here.
How do you like your training camp so far?
I think it's good. I think just trying to learn as much as I can, being around a lot of really good goalies, a lot of really good players, just understanding that you're here to learn and, get better every day. And it'd be disappointing if I didn't, take much out of this, because it's been a great experience so far.
To what extent do you say that you're using your glove to settle down and get into a rhythm and get confident within a game?
It's hard, you don't want to force the game or, try to get yourself out of position because it's, there's some games you won't feel shots early or, go a long time without seeing one. So just trying to stay calm and understand that your process and routine is the same, and, you're not going to go the whole game with 0 shots.
You're saying that it's pretty early, like only rookie games in one preseason game, but the way you're playing so far, is it giving you a ton of confidence?
I feel like I'm a confident player in general, and I try not to attach confidence, with performance or immediate success. I think for me, it's a long journey. I'm far from the finished product, so to say, of what I'm going to be when I'm a full-time pro, and just trying to get a little bit better every day. And I think if I do that over the course of my career, hopefully set myself up for a good one.
l'hôtel. Bonsoir.
Salut Martin. Tu voulais du rythme, du tempo, d'urgence même. C'est pas évident qu'il y ait beaucoup de punitions.
Oui, c'est ça. C'est la première période, c'était dur à poigner un rythme, quelque chose. Mais on a travaillé sur les unités spéciales. T'sais. Mais j'ai aimé comment on a poussé en troisième. T'sais, les boys voulaient gagner la game. Bonjour.
On parlait à Jacob Fowler dans le vestiaire, il y avait des étoiles dans les yeux. Pour un jeune joueur comme ça, match préparatoire ou non, d'avoir un rôle primordial dans une victoire, surtout au Centre Bell, qu'est-ce que ça peut t'amener comme expérience pour le reste?
C'est dur à expliquer cette expérience-là pour un joueur. Je pense qu'il faut que tu la vives. Puis c'est des beaux moments pour les joueurs. C'est bon pour leur confiance. Les deux gardiens ont très bien joué. Ils ont aidé le chercher à la victoire.
Jean-François?
Salut Martin.
Bonjour.
Owen Beck qui marque un but, mais au-delà de son but, joue en désavantage numérique, un petit peu plus que 18 minutes. Qu'est-ce que tu as aimé d'Owen Beck qui jouait avec deux gars sensiblement de Ligue américaine, pas des réguliers Ligue nationale?
Oui, non, mais je trouve qu'il a joué une bonne game. Il a joué à son identité. Il a mené une game de 200 pieds. Il est responsable. Il était chercher un gros but. Un deuxième effort. Je trouve que cette ligne-là, il a bien joué.
Martin, j'ai une perception. Là. Trouves-tu que ton gardien de but numéro 1 obtient le respect qu'il mérite? Tu sais, on entend souvent, il est là, il est de passage, puis quand Fowler va arriver, tu sais, je trouve, moi, personnellement, je trouve qu'il n'obtient pas le respect qu'il mérite. Mais toi, qu'est-ce que tu en penses?
Bien, je peux dire qu'on lit pas toutes les affaires. Fait que je peux dire à l'interne, il y a un respect à l'interne. On ne peut pas contrôler tout ce qui se fait dire ou écrit par vous autres, puis les fans. Mais à l'interne, on sait comment que Monty il est allé chercher ce respect-là dans l'interne. Le respect, il est toujours gagné, il n'est pas donné. Fait que je pense que nous autres, on est très confortables comment on se sent à propos de Montembeault, puis comment il a fait ça. C'est une très belle progression. C'est pas arrivé du jour au lendemain. Il a travaillé fort. Fait qu'on sait comment important qu'il est à l'interne, puis je pense qu'il sait ça aussi.
Est-ce que tu en savais beaucoup sur lui avant que tu...
Zéro.
Non, zéro.
Guillaume, Arvin et Stu?
Salut Martin, tu parlais du trio d'Owen Beck. Philippe Méchard, qu'est-ce que tu penses qu'il a amené comme apport à ce trio-là? Qu'est-ce que tu vois comme identité de ce joueur-là qui se dessine à force de le voir?
Moi, j'ai aimé son match. Tu vois qu'il y a des bonnes mains, il y a une bonne intelligence. Puis, comme tu vois que c'est la game à mature. C'est pas juste quand il y a la rondelle. Cette game-là, la Ligue nationale, elle va t'exposer beaucoup. Je sais pas si ça se dit ça, exposer. Sans la rondelle, si tu fais pas ta job. Si tu vas pas aux endroits où tu dois être, tout dépendamment du concept défensif-offensif. Moi, je trouve qu'il y a une maturité que j'en remarque, que c'est une belle évolution.
Marty, I'm going to ask you to go back in your memory a little bit, but when Owen Beck got called up to you guys last year, you were out west in Alberta. If you remember, you went to Vancouver, you sent him back to Laval. You brought Josh up, but he remembers a conversation with you when you sent him back to Laval and stuck with him just telling him what he needs to do to come back to Montreal. Do you do that every time a player gets sent down, or do you pick your spots, or how does that work when you send a player down? Do you always have a meeting with them, or?
Yeah, I would say I do. I think this generation, they want to know the why. And I think because, all these young players, all of them will hopefully have a long career, But, and if they do, we're doing our job, But it's not necessarily when he gets there is trying to get him there, So the timeline is not everybody's is ready at the same time and stuff. Not everybody has to work on the same thing, and so you try to give them some kind of feedback. So, because it can get confusing for players sometimes to get sent down, and now they think they just need to go downstairs and put some numbers up, where sometimes it's the case, but it's not always the case. I think the productivity is probably a bonus, but to really understand the details that you have to play with, and you can't just all of a sudden you get called up and okay, I'm gonna do that now, so to me, you try to give the players something that they can keep building their game, and real feedback, honesty, and it's not necessarily always emotionally, it's not always a great time to give those because obviously they're getting sent down. But I think they're important moments that you have to take.
Did you happen to remember what you told him?
I mean, didn't he tell you?
I just want to see if you remember. He's obviously going to remember. It's more meaningful to him if you have these meetings all the time.
No, I do remember what I told him.
I'll take 4 more. Steve, Eric, Marco,
Josh Anderson came to Demirov's defense there. He took a roughing penalty after Fabrice took a bit of a cheap shot at him, and even Patrick Laine gave him a little shot when he was going back to the bench afterwards. Just how important is that going to be with Demirov, who's probably going to have a target on him a little bit this year coming in?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be a pack. We're all in this together. We want to be a pack, and I'm not surprised he did that. It's not the first time. It won't be the last.
Are those the type of roughing penalties as a coach you can live
Yeah,
with?
sometimes, I mean, if it's a regular season, 2-2 game, 3 minutes to go, first period, exhibition game, the leash is pretty long.
Eric?
Kind of on the same subjects. Look at what Jared Davidson did tonight.
Oh.
He's one of a few of those guys that wants to prove they have a bit of an edge.
Mm-hmm.
How critical is it to incorporate a little bit more edge to a young, skilled
Yeah.
team that you guys have, and what did you make of Davidson?
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great fight. There was no hesitation. I think he's a gamer, Davidson. Ever since I've seen him play, I feel he's a gamer. He's, he'll do whatever the game needs him to do. I think he's hungry. He wants to play at this level. He'll do whatever. And he actually has a scoring touch too. We've seen it in years past, and obviously in Laval. But I wasn't surprised that he did that. But you're right. We do need. I feel as a team, I love our skill level and everything, and I think the way we play together, I love that. We need to add some sandpaper to our game a little bit, and it's not necessarily just that. Sometimes that happens, and it's not necessarily just one guy or 2 guys. Just collectively as a pack, can we be a little tougher to play against, not just strategically, but physically?
On termine avec Marco et Marc-Antoine.
Salut, Marky. Pour Noah Dobson, premier match dans l'équipe du Canadien, puis joueur le plus utilisé, 5 tirs, le plus de l'équipe. Comment tu as trouvé sa game?
Ah, c'était correct. C'est un joueur qui il s'incorpore dans une. Je dis pas que on a inventé une nouvelle stratégie ou des nouveaux concepts. Je pense que c'est juste de mettre sur la même page comment on joue la game en équipe ici ensemble. Mais tu vois le talent puis qu'est-ce qu'il peut nous amener. Donc, moi, j'étais correct. J'étais content de sa game.
Je pense qu'on a une bonne idée de l'endroit où vous avez besoin de remplir un poste à l'attaque dans la bataille avec le trio de Newark. Je me demandais, au fil de ce camp d'entraînement-là, est-ce que vous allez identifier le gars qui joue le plus selon son identité? Vous allez essayer de trouver celui qui remplit mieux la chaise que vous avez besoin de remplir?
Je pense que ça va être un peu des deux. Je ne dis pas que ça va être un ou l'autre. On va continuer à évaluer. Chaque joueur devrait essayer de jouer à leur identité. Puis des fois, mais cette identité-là, mais l'identité que lui amène, c'est ça que la ligne elle a besoin. Fait que je peux pas dire que exactement qui va être là, comment. Puis, tu sais, je sais pas, tu sais. Louis, va-tu jouer au centre? Je sais pas encore. Tu sais, c'est de continuer à évaluer. Tu sais, on a des joueurs qui sont capables de jouer au centre et à l'aile. Puis, on va se faire diriger d'une direction. Puis, je le sais, on va partir d'une manière. Puis, je sais pas longtemps comment on va rester de cette manière-là. Faut que tu t'adaptes, puis, tu sais, mais on a... Année après année, depuis que j'ai commencé, je trouve à toutes les années, j'ai un petit peu plus de choix. Tu sais, j'ai un petit peu plus d'options. Tu sais, puis cette année encore, j'ai beaucoup plus d'options. Fait que c'est encourageant. Puis c'est pas que ça rend ma job plus facile, mais tu sais, c'est des bons problèmes. C'est pas des problèmes, c'est des bonnes choses à avoir. Tu sais, des choix.